everybody, so now we're doing part 2. And part 2, let me bring out yesterday's. So yesterday we did, we made the outside, the cover, the spine. I added these two. This is material that I added onto the spine just to strengthen it right in here. Only because I felt it needed it. Probably would have done that one a little better. And just making sure everything can hold. Now, part of what we're going to do today is we're going to make the insert that goes here that you can attach your pages to. So pretty much what we're going to use is the craft paper, okay? And the first thing you have to do with your, I need a sip. So hot, humid. Okay, is to measure the space you have inside the spine. So the space I have is roughly 3 inches. And then the length is 7. But I don't want to go right to the edge on this because we have to be careful. We want to come in at least 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So if we do that, it's roughly 6.5, I think. Yeah, 6.5. And here's the thing. There's different ways of attaching the insides to your photo album. The way I'm going to do it requires you to just measure out a length. I'm using a 12 by 12 piece of craft paper. It's pretty light. And I'm going to cut it as long as I need for the length, which is 6.5. Still waiting for my new blades to come in. So 6.5, and I'm not worrying about the length so much. So here's what you have to consider. So you need a little bit to go overage, and that's generally about 1/2 inch. Yeah, so about 1/2 inch. And then you need some space in between. Let me show you pretty much a smaller version. So this is probably 3/4 of an inch, but you need an edging on the outside on both sides. And then you need to have whatever length you're doing your tab, right? So it has to go up and down and then over. And this is how I do it. I just take a piece of craft paper, and I'm going to start off with my first scoring. And I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, right? And then after the 1/2 inch, I'm going to do in between will be 1/8 inch, or excuse me, yeah, 1/8 inch. So try to make sure I keep it straight. That's the hardest part, making sure you're keeping it straight. That looks like 1/4 of an inch. Well, it's not going to matter too much because this is just to make sure you have spacing. Let me just give it a little bend here. You want spacing in between here. These look like they're 1/4 of an inch, yeah. Basically, I would go less. I'm going to do it a little less here on this one. So we have 3/4 of an inch And the next one is going to be, let me see something for a second. Hold on. Hold on, because I don't see it on this one. I want an 1/8 of an inch, which would be, I need a pencil, right to here. 1/8 of an inch down here to here. Because I can't see it on this old one. I don't see it as clearly. So that would bring me to the edge. All right, that's an 1/8. Okay. Huh. Be a half of that to there. Okay. Just checking. Okay. I had to just check my measurements here. Everything's a mess. Okay. So from, this will be the outside on the flap. Let me show you. It'll be on the flap here. So it has a place to secure to. And then the tabs will be in here. And since this is a pretty wide one, I'm going to be doing quite a few of them. And so to go up, we're going to go up a 1/2 inch, giving myself a 1/2 inch tab. And then you have to come down a 1/2 inch. Okay, and I'll show you in a second. And we're going to do an 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to go over a little bit. An 1/8 of an inch. And a 1/2 inch from here. And then another 1/2 inch. An 1/8 of an inch. Right to there. Because I want the separation to be, let me see if you can, here we go. You should be able to see that in the camera. So this is separating the two tabs, the one tab from another. You see it goes down like that, and then this one's going to come up. And fold over. Okay. All right, so this is what we're doing right now. It's just forming these tabs. And you want that to be able to fold over. Give it on there right. So first we want to just make sure that we have an 1/8 of an inch in between, a 1/2 inch going up, 1/2 inch coming down, so that you can make your little tabs. And I'll show you how we manage that. How we keep them up like that to be able to set them up. Now I pretty much got I think 7 on the one I prepped. So that should be good. And so what I'm going to do is try to make sure I have at least 7 prepped on here. That would mean 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 5. Be 6. It looks like I'm getting a little wide on my between the tabs. I think it's just 1/4 inch isn't bad, but let's see what I got now. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a 1/2 inch more. Let me just check. Let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So then I'm just going to cut that off. And my bone folder, we're going to fold over every score line, both directions. There's a ton of people who do this kind of prepping for the what do you call it? For bookbinding. There's all different kinds, so if this isn't your cup of tea, you just have to put it in a search bar in a YouTube channel, and you should be able to find tons of different ways to bind your, add tabs to your book. But this is the one I wanted to do today, because I want to put pages in. The hardest part is this part right here, is getting all of the score lines folded. There we go. And I prep those, and now to do it the other way. The other way should be a little easier once you folded it once. And the shorter, the narrow score lines are going to be tricky for you, but they'll get easier once we tab everything together. Okay, so now I'm taking some double-sided tape, and I don't have very wide tape, so I have to use the narrow tape that I have and add to it. And the widest point, so there's an inch. Let me bring you up here. See this inch here? That's going to be a tab. We're going to tape that together. So I'm going to go on the score line on one side. Okay. You could do a 1/4 inch tape, which would be good, but I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue in here. So on every inch space where my tab is, I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape on one side. Doesn't matter which side, as long as it's on one side. Here we go. After I get this down, I'll show you. See the edge there? Don't worry about that. That's not an ish. I'll show you what I do to fix that. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. All the way down. I'm waiting for my order to come in with my wider tape. I had this 1/4 inch tape, thank goodness, but ouch. Okay, now we're going to make sure everything's down really good. Now, let me show you what I do. On this edge here where I have some overhang, I'm going to lift that up, and then I'm going to turn the tape over onto itself. I like that. I have a few over here I have to do. This one and this one. Come on. Here we go. Should over. Push this one over. There we go. When you pull the tape off, you probably could do it be better, but I want to show you. Just like that. Wherever it went a little long. Okay. Now, I have some watered down glue here, and I just want to add some. I was using it yesterday to make my Halloween journal. I didn't do a taping of that, I just put that on TikTok. Okay, so I have some here. It gives you some time, which is good. And then I'm going to take it and fold it over in half. Okay, there we go. That's it. And that's what we're going to do. Now, what's good about putting a little glue over the tape is you have a little time, but not a lot, but a little time. And you just fold it over. Getting a good look, hopefully. And nope, stay out of the way. I'm just making sure it's on the tape, on the craft paper. Flip it over. You don't have to do the glue thing. I just do it for extra because I live in some humidity right now. It's really pretty bad right now. And then the heat comes and dries everything out. So I don't want this to come apart. And for me, this just is like insurance. Now I can get over there. There we go. Before I finish, I'm going to show you. See how I have a little bit, oops, what's going on? Get over there. Didn't have enough of a fold there. There we go. So you see how I have a little space in between each one? And then we have the tab that goes up. Let's continue. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. The reason why I watered down this is because I was gluing some composition papers together in a composition book, and the pages are really, really thin. Gosh, get over there. So. And so if I water it down a little bit, I can spread it easier. It's not going to rip the paper. And then I can add my papers to it together just to thicken it up a bit. Okay, the last one is right here. Now the big thing is to burnish all of this. Okay, I'm going to start on this side, and I'm just going to burnish brush it this way, and then folding everything to the other direction. And any of the glue that comes out, just wipe it off, because it can happen. All right, and then turn all the tabs in the opposite direction and burnish it that way. Okay, there we go. A little bit of tape sticking out. Okay, so one thing that is really good to do, because it depends on how you're going to attach your pages before you put this into your book. See how it's not even going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, here it is, 7. It's like, wow, it got smaller, and it fits perfectly right in here. Awesome. I probably could have done 2 more, but this looks good. So what you should do before you put it into your book is to take a pair of scissors, okay, and you're going to just lay across the side and snip off a corner on both ends. And it just makes the tab a little easier to get onto the paper. Okay, to here, and I'm going to show you that hopefully tomorrow. Doesn't have to be exact, just a way for it to and then it goes into here. Okay, I already have one made, all ready and dried to go, and it's already got double-sided tape on the back of it. So I'm going to take this, come on, pull it off, right? And then I'm going to take some of the glue, because that way it gives me a little time to maneuver it. Like that. Boom. This tape is really sticky. Okay, that's good enough. Now we're going to find the center of, let's make sure everything is out. And I'm just going to eyeball it, make sure I have it right in the center on the spine. I have enough on the top and the bottom, clear. And we're just going to, here's my score. Burnishing tool. Come on, come on. Ah. See, it gives me time. Gave me some time. There we go. That's it. Easy, right? Okay, now that's going to take a little time to coordinate that. So this is going to be it today. And tomorrow we're going to go over the pages, how to input pages onto here. Okay, here it is, all ready. Now, technically, that will give you 14 pages, because one on either side, but we're going to do pockets and spreadsheets, so I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Take care. I hope you like it.